Stop what you're doing and listen.
This is a MacBook Air. It's one of the most popular Mac computers out there. However, it is one of the worst computers when it comes to gaming. But there are some misconceptions about this machine. For instance, yes, they can't play high-end games like Rise of the Tomb Raider or Fortnite. Stop trying to play Fortnite on MacBook Airs. They're not good for it. But these machines are actually pretty decent machines for playing indie games. So today, I want to share with you some of my favorite ones that I play on this machine, and hopefully it can give you a better understanding of what type of games you can play on your MacBook Air. Okay, so the first game we have is Dead Cells. Dead Cells is a new game. It came out, I think, a few months ago, and it works flawlessly on here. A consistent 60 FPS, it's playing at its full resolution 1080p, and it's playing at high settings. So let's actually get into some combat and see if our FPS goes down. And we are getting about 55 FPS here in Dead Cells. And when you're not in combat though, it's sticking around 60 FPS. But yeah, it's running really nicely here. No frame rate drops. It's just a nice little experience.
Let us enjoy the quiet for a moment longer. Moment over. We should leave now.
All right, next game we have is Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy. This is a 2017 game, I believe, and it works pretty damn well here. If we actually get into the game, let's see what happens. But what is worth noting, guys, is that pretty much all of the Telltale games, they all run really well on these. Pretty much all of them. So whichever one you like, give it a go. But let's see how this one is going. Okay, so we are in the game, and we are getting a...
Guardians, this is the Nova Corps.
Shush.
We have a situation.
Shut up.
Thanos is here.
Let's turn this audio down. Yeah, it's running pretty smoothly here. Let's actually see if we can get into some actual kind of gameplay, because this game doesn't really have so much gameplay. It's more cutscenes compared to actual gameplay. So yeah, we're getting about 35 right now. Not really much to show here. The game is getting about 35 to 40 FPS, so I'm pretty happy with it. Oh, sorry, it's on. Okay, so this is The Witness, which I thought was a high-end game, but it actually works on really modest Mac specs. And in this instance, it's working really well on a 2013 MacBook Air. Now, in order to test the frame rate, we're going to use an app called Count It. Count It is by MacGamerHQ.com. And you can test a frame rate. Right now we're running the game 1080p high, and we are getting about 40 FPS, which is really nice. Now we could obviously go in and lower the resolution, lower some other settings, but you have to do that before you launch the game, and then we could get a nice consistent FPS. So let's do a little puzzle. This is a great puzzle game, and it's very, very challenging. This one is obviously a cinch, but it really does get challenging. Whoa. And then you have to open up the other one, and that opens up the other gate. Okay. Ow, 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 ow. Okay, we have got CSGO running here. And for this game, I have to kneel down because the table isn't tall enough and the PlayStation controller doesn't work in CSGO. But we are getting about close to 30 FPS, and if we did lower it, the settings, we could get, well, what am I doing? We could get close to 60, and this game would be better at 60. Oh, wow.
Bomb has been planted.
This game is probably one of the most low-end FPS games you can get on Mac, and it's really good for MacBook Airs. except I'm still bad. Okay, so this game is a notable mention. It will require a slightly more high-end MacBook Air from probably after 2014, but this is a 2013 MacBook Air and I'm getting about 25 FPS. Still a pretty low-end game, but it does work pretty well. But yeah, I thought I'd just mention it. It's a really great racing game, but you have to be careful with racing games because most of them are quite, they do require a pretty high-end Mac. Distance, not as much. Okay, so this game is another notable mention, Dirt Rally. I was really surprised that it actually even worked on this MacBook Air in the first place, bearing in mind that we are playing in 720p and everything is on low. However, I have to give Feral Interactive, the guys who ported Dirt Rally to Mac, some props, as they've optimized it really well for older hardware, and also Metal 2 has probably helped a lot. What is also cool, if you compare Dirt Rally on this 2013 MacBook Air to a 2018 MacBook Pro, you can see how good this game can actually look on high-end hardware, so I thought that was really cool. But yeah, this game is completely playable here. It just doesn't look that amazing. I mean, it looks okay, but I'd rather play it on the MacBook Pro than here, if that was me. What's also worth noting is Metal support. If you are lucky enough to have a 2012 and above MacBook Air, these support Metal. And this one is 2013, so it supports Metal. And there are a few Metal games that are available that will work on here. There's not that many. If you want to get more FPS on your MacBook Air or play more high-end games or play games that aren't supported on macOS, then investing in GeForce Now is always a good option. It's a cloud streaming service where you can play almost any Windows-based game via the cloud. It is so damn amazing. I've played Fortnite under GeForce Now and I can get close to sometimes 100 FPS, and that is on Mac. So it's really cool. I definitely suggest checking it out, but it is only available in North America and Europe right now. Okay, so those are 5 different games running on a 2013 MacBook Air that are all different genres and should give you some example of what you can play. If you were to install Windows on here via Boot Camp, it is all free. You would be able to play more games and have better performance. For example, Fortnite on macOS on a MacBook Air, this one ran at about 25 FPS, but under Windows it ran at about 45, so it was playable under Windows. But that should give you somewhat of an understanding of what you can play. I hope it does. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. And if you want to see more content about Mac gaming, then subscribe if you haven't already, because this channel is just about Mac gaming, really. Yeah, thank you.